Hey, welcome to the Nova Hoopcast. Basketball season has started. We've got some great performances this week. We're here at Heritage High School, home of the Pride. Your home county, Loudoun County, Kevin. I love the facilities out here. Let's jump right in and talk about some of the great performances we've seen in the first week. I want to start with Daryl Mackey. Great matchup, their first game against Centerville. Mackey comes out with 33. Not to be outdone, Bryce Douglas drops 34 in that game. West Potomac ended up winning that game in overtime. So great performance, great start to the season for Daryl Mackey. We've talked about him.
Yeah, but what a great first game for the fans to have a team like Centerville playing at home against West Potomac, and Daryl Mackey, who we talked about at the beginning of the year, one of the top performers we think in the area, just going off. But Bryce Douglas can score too, so a great first game for both teams.
Yeah, two elite scorers, I think, in Northern Virginia. We'll talk about a couple more in a moment. Bryce Douglas came back with 19 in a game against Lake Braddock. It's interesting, everybody, when you see an elite scorer play against Braddock, you could probably add 5 or 10 points the way Braddock plays. You've seen them play before, Kevin.
They're fun to watch. They're playing real well right now. They beat Blue Ridge, which is a private school from the Charlottesville area, which was a huge win. They typically have several Division I players there, so they beat them, and they also beat Centerville. And not a lot of individual scoring so far for Lake Braddock. They have Quentin James, who's a very good player, but a lot of people put up points, and Lake Braddock likes to get up and down the floor and shoot threes.
Yeah, they typically have 4, 5, 6 guys in double figures. They're definitely fun to watch. Garrett Johnson from Oakton, we've talked about him. We talked about his brother, Braden, who's now at Johns Hopkins. Garrett Johnson scored 28 in a win over McLean. They played 3 games already. He's had 28, 19, and 23, so he's off to a real quick start.
And Brian, last week we talked a little bit about commitments and people looking at some of the kids in the area, and we've heard a lot about Garrett Johnson getting looks from some Ivy League schools, also getting some looks from William & Mary. So as a junior, we really think he's got a high ceiling. He's going to be playing at the next level soon.
Yeah, Jared Clausen, also from Edison. Kevin, I know you noticed that game. He had 29 in their opener in a win against Hayfield.
He's a great junior guard. We didn't highlight him at the beginning of the season, but for them to go in to Hayfield and win, and him to have 29 as a junior guard is very impressive. I think you're going to see a theme here, a lot of juniors doing a lot of big scoring for teams, and I think that junior class, that class of 2020, is really strong.
He came back and had 17 in their second game against Mount Vernon, so he's off to a good start. Ben Jensen from Woodson had 27. He's the Army commit we talked about last week. He had 27 in a nice win over Wakefield. They're a big team. He's certainly going to have a good year for them. He's about 6'10", 6'11". Tyler Savage from Champ, I know you've seen him before out here. He's an all-region wide receiver for the Knights, had 34 in a win against Lee. So
Champ scores a lot of points. That was a 95 to 81 game, and Tyler, went off. He's a great athlete, as you mentioned, a very good wide receiver, great kid. I had a chance to know him when he was younger, and very happy about his success. But Champ puts a lot of points, and he's going to get it done this year.
2 more guys I want to touch on. I know we mentioned Garrett Johnson at Oakton, not to be outdone for the Cougars. Micah Johnson-Perrott, he's had 24, 20, and 14. So that's a pretty good 1-2 tandem. And I think in high school basketball, if you've got 2 guys that can score consistently, you've got a good chance. A lot of coaches and teams will game plan to take one person away. It's tough when you've got multiple people that can score the basketball. And let's talk about one more Savage. We talked about Tyler out of Champ. Cam Savage from South Lakes, I think, is just off to a tremendous start. I think he and Daryl Mackey are 2 of the elite guards in the area. Cam Savage with 32, 32, and 21. Putting up big numbers for the Seahawks.
Did you see the video of him basically jumping over a defender who was trying to take a charge? He just went straight over him, straddled him, and scored. I think it went viral. I saw it on a lot of different social media sites. So great player, signed with Barton. That's a good get for a Division II school in North Carolina, but he's going to be fun to watch all year.
Great performances this week and more to come.